Hey guys, it's Pete from Pete vs. Anxiety here, the mental health podcast breaking the stigma that mental health is talked about enough. But guys, before we get into today's episode, let's talk a little bit about the Patreon. That's right, you're right, the Oracle Talk Radio Network Patreon. And you guys are like, hey Pete, how much is that going to cost us? Let me check the judges. Judges? They said $1. $1. That's right, guys. Just $1 a month gets you access to the Oracle Talk Radio Network and all the bonus contents that's there. I have a bunch of plenty of episodes I'm planning to put behind that wall. You know, my buddy Bree that you met from Bree and Joel episode, that is the #1 viewed episode. She's going to come back and we're going to have another private conversation about her story. And she's going to tell me, hell, I'm going to even tell my own story behind the Patreon wall. I'm going to record an episode just by myself. You're going to hear everything from A to Z about my life. You're going to find out how I got here to where I was at when I started to where I am now. Why not? Listen, you want that? $1. That's all it gets you. $1 gets you access into the Pete. You get to find out the mind of Pete, what happened with Pete, all that. Anyways, I love that. Also want to let you know that the Oracle Talk Radio Network has their own radio app. That's right. The Oracle Talk Radio Network app. What does it get you? It gets you access to the shows, obviously. When we're live doing our thing here on the Oracle Talk Radio Network, you can listen to us on the go. So there's no excuse really now why you haven't been there or why you can't listen to it. All right? So 10 a.m. Mondays, I want you either on here, supporting this channel, or I want you on there supporting our Oracle Talk Radio Network, downloading their app and, listening that way. There's no excuse now. We don't have to hear nothing. Well, OP didn't have none. You had time. You had plenty of options to get there. But anyways, lastly, I want to talk about my special nonprofit that I'm a part of, that I joined forces with. They're raising mental health awareness, trying to get people out there to talk more about, mental health. That's why we're here in the first place. Anyways, that's why Pete vs. Anxiety even begins, is because we're trying to educate people. So if you text the code podcast to 44321, then put my name right there. See it coming right across? Then you too can help support mental health awareness, guys. And while you're there, why don't you donate $1? Just $1. That's, $1 doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? You can donate $1, 4 quarters, 10 dimes, blah, blah, blah. However we keep going on this thing, but it's all the same thing, basically, guys. Just $1. And guys, as always, please enjoy the show. And don't forget to like, follow, and share the YouTube channel. I love it. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great one. Guys, welcome into another exciting episode of Pete vs. Anxiety, the mental health podcast breaking the stigma that mental health is talked about. My guest is here today, but as always, we got to pay tribute to the Oracle Talk Radio Network, because without them, we wouldn't even be here today, guys. We're also live on the TikTok, in case you check me over here on the other side. You can come over to YouTube right now. We are live on Instagram and all the Oracle Talk Radio Networks, a wonderful YouTube, Twitch, and everywhere else you can find us to be. As usual, we're going to go ahead and pay tribute to the other shows here, because without them, we wouldn't be able to be here as well. So let's show some love to the fellow shows here on the Oracle Talk Radio Network. We're going to start off this week with my friend and the owner, a part of this company, Mr. Tom's Chasing Prophecies. Here we go.
The Chasing Prophecy radio show, where we discuss everything and anything beyond the scope of normal. Hosted by Jenny Nicasio and Tom Conway, Chasing Prophecy is your premier destination for all things paranormal. Tune in Thursdays at 8 p.m., only on the Oracle Talk Radio Network. In the Know with Jenny Nicasio, your home for pop culture and trending topics from all over the United States. All with commentary from your favorite host, Jenny Nicasio. Tune in Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, only on the Oracle Talk Radio Network.
Oops, sorry guys.
Bookish Podcast, hosted by Emma Saylor, is a unique look at all things literature and is your radio book club. Read along as Emma takes us through discussions of her books of the month, and you can chime in and give your feedback as well. Tune in Tuesdays at 3:30 p.m., only on the Oracle Talk Radio Network. The Mystic Whispers Podcast, hosted by the psychic seer herself, Nicole Gaspard. Each week, Nicole shares her experiences and views, as well as interviews guests. Tune in Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, only on the Oracle Talk Radio Network. The Nerd Informer Podcast, hosted by Ian Harrelling and Tyler Johnson. An informative look at the world around us and expert discussions on some of the world's greatest mysteries. Tune in Wednesdays at 7 p.m., only on the Oracle Talk Radio Network.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Richard. And together, we are the Stay Off My Lawn Show and Podcast.
And together we tackle the important political issues from the week.
We'll also have smart and maybe not so smart audio clips from our elected officials.
And have way too much fun in the process.
So tune in to Stay Off My Lawn every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Right here on the Oracle Talk Radio Network.
All right, guys, welcome in my guest today, Ken Can-Do. Ken, say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody.
How's it going today, buddy?
It's going good, but I'd like to give tribute to, like my son, who's a veteran, and then all the other veterans out there. Thank you guys for your service, the ones that are still there and the ones that have made it home.
Yes, thank you to the Truth. Today is the Tribute to the Truth show. Guys, if you're live listening to this or you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and send me some comments. We'll go ahead and post them on here, give you some love to those troops and everybody else. I want to give a shout out to my own brother, Travis. Travis, man, I appreciate everything you do, brother. He's been a vet now, I believe, for like 15 years plus and all that great stuff. I have other family members, too, that have been there. I just don't know the names, unfortunately. I'm sorry. So, Ken, why don't you tell everybody why you're here today?
Well, I was actually listening to one of your podcasts with Country Boy on mental health and bringing around like suicide awareness and that. And it touched me and, it reminded me of why I react to people the way I do when they start talking about suicide or as a joke.
Yeah.
Because it brought me back all the way to my childhood years.
Definitely. I agree, man. I agree. And it's great to hear the people's story. It's like I always say, your one story could change somebody's life, and there you go. Like I said, Ken and his better half, Nicole, right? Isn't her name?
Yes.
Yes. And Nicole, both of them had messaged me directly. Ken had said how much he was very moved by Country Boy's story and how he shared everything like that. And he said, hey, I want to come do my own. So I went ahead and switched up the schedule a bit. It originally was supposed to be through it all here, but I let the boys know, hey, unfortunately, I need to get him on here. I don't want him to change his mind on me. I want him to get out there and share his story about where he's been and where he's gotten to. So, Ken, why don't you tell everybody your story?
Well, it goes back, like I said, back into childhood, middle school when one of my good friends was, joking around, he was going to take his life. And, so we all joked around about it, at the same time. And a couple of my other friends still said, no, it's not something to do. But we still participated in the jokes. I left school, broke my wrist that day. Came to school the next day to find out that he had taken his life.
Yeah, that's sad, man. I'm sorry about that.
So it's hit me ever since.
Yeah.
And me and my one friend, we were just talking about that the other day on the phone. We were reminiscing about that day. And he still has drawings that the kid had made back then.
That's awesome, though. I mean, for somebody to keep him for that long, and for all that, and it's a thing too. A lot of people think it's funny when people are joking about it, but are they really being serious is the real question we need to ask ourselves. Because when it comes to suicide, we don't know what the people's state of mind is. We do know a lot of them say that they feel like they're not being heard, or no one's, they feel like they're unwanted and things like that. But it's hard to tell sometimes too, especially when people are making jokes about it, and it gets real sensitive. And a lot of people hear that and instantly shut down instead of thinking, okay, well, is this guy serious? Or there's something we need to be worried about? Have I been noticing any weird signs of things they were doing, and all that kind of stuff. And that's a great thing about, 988 as well, in case any of you all are ever having those kind of thoughts or feelings. There are trained staff on the other side of it. That's the National Suicide Hotline Awareness. These guys are trained to help you get through it. And they changed it to 988 because one of my guests, actually, Corey, had told me on my audio side, she said the reason they changed it was because you don't want to dial them numbers. You want to have a quick access, get to them real fast. So 988, boom, and you're connected with somebody.
It's really good.
It is.
So, and a lot of people, they just feel like they're out of place or alone. I mean, I've even had the same thoughts throughout my life, too.
Yeah.
Been close to taking it and different reasons pulled me out.
Yeah. I've been there too, man. I've been there with you as well. I agree, man. I was at that. I talk about like looking over the edge. Any Walking Dead fans would know if you read the comic book when Daryl's looking over the edge, he sees that sea of zombies. It's kind of that feeling. He's looking over like, and I've been there too, man. I've been on that edge a couple times before, way back then, but I had a lot going on. But that's for the tell-it-all story. But anyways, let's get back to Ken.
Right. So, I'm nervous as
You're good, Ken, man.
being
You got
on
this.
there.
Don't worry.
This,
Listen, by the way, in case y'all know, me and Ken met on TikTok. We were hanging out, and Ken and I, we go live. When I go live, me and Ken have a little fun. We go around, we battle people, and we do it all in a joking manner. We're having a great time as usual. And that's how we linked up too, because TikTok's a great little networking site. I know people have their own opinions about it, but dude, I've met so many people that are so great. I'm working on building a network to my Discord. I'm working on now. I'll announce it when I have it, but it's going to have I'm going to try and get all the mental health advocates all to be together. That way we could all be together, share facts, share positive notes. Hey, if somebody needs some uplifting, we can just, let everybody know, and we'll all just kind of go. And then I'll have all the podcast information there. That way it's in one spot, and I don't have to try and post it 20 different places. I can post the videos, everything else everywhere else, all that kind of stuff. And I got other plans. Stay tuned, because I have other plans. There are a couple Patreon shows I am planning. I've been given the green light to go ahead and do. So we're going to plan some of those anyways. Excited about your
yeah, those are, you were talking about those shows. There are going to be some pretty good shows coming out.
Ken knows all about it. See, if you were on TikTok, you know what's going on, but that's all right. Soon we'll have the Discord that'll lay everything out for y'all, and I'll lay the master plan out for you too. But how's your move going? Are you all ready to go?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good right now. I'm on the top side of things.
Ken is actually getting ready to move to Ohio to be with the better half, Nicole. She's a great person. So I'm very excited for him, guys. And we should wish him all well too, especially, man. Safe travels for tomorrow. Isn't that when you're moving tomorrow, right?
Yeah, so I'll finish packing a bunch of my stuff up, load it up in the truck tonight, and head out in the morning and start my new job tomorrow afternoon and move in with her.
Man. That's awesome, man.
New journeys.
Definitely, man. And you've been through a hell of a lot, haven't you?
Yeah. At the same time, I haven't. I've been through a lot, but I haven't been through a lot. I'm just like everybody else out there. You have your tough times. In like high school, trying to fit in with the right group, and sometimes you're hanging with the wrong group just because that's what you do, and they're buying and they're supporting you, even though you're just drinking, partying, not thinking about life, and knowing you actually want to be with that other group, but you just don't know how to break away.
Yeah, exactly. So is there any mental health diagnosis you'd like to tell everybody about? Have you had addictions, anything like that?
Yeah, I've had addictions to, cocaine, alcohol.
Jesus.
I've beat them both all by myself, early in life, I tried doing AA meetings. That wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But 7 years ago, I went sober on my own. Should have went into an institution because of the convulsions and all the withdrawals were really bad for it. But I used my inner strength to power through that.
Yeah.
Even though I wanted to give up, I was also going through a divorce at the same time. So I was just alone. I had my family, but to talk to.
Yeah, but it's
at the same time, I was alone.
It's hard to tell them stuff like that. You know what I mean? Versus like friends, that you can trust to tell them that aren't going to sit there and pass judgment on you is hard. I feel like if you tell your family members things, they just kind of they all gossip about it, and then it gets worse. And it's like, they're talking about you when you enter a room, and then you're like, you don't like that feeling. Versus like if you call one of your friends and you talk to them instead about the problem and let them know, and they seem to be more receptive, and things like that. Because I have a list of people I can call. That's my emergency plan in case I ever, got to that point, that in case my wife, she's at work doing something, I can call these people and let them know what's going on. Like, hey, talk to them about it. And, one of my buddies, Lewis, is like my best friend. This guy and I have known each other. We met playing Call of Duty. This is a funny story though. We met playing Call of Duty. He's been with me through everything since the beginning of this thing till the end of this thing, man. He's been there the whole time, and me and him, and without him, I don't think I'd be here as much, because he's had my back the whole time. He's got me through a lot of this stuff. He got me through the down times, the upper times, things like that, and it's great, man. It's great. And I bet Nicole's the same way for you too, man.
Oh, yes. And I know if I don't have her, I got a couple friends back up by Chicago. Yeah. And I'm very close to. We've been lifelong friends.
That's awesome.
Since grade school. So, and then I got my brother. And if he's out there on TikTok now listening, hey, brother, Caveman, love you. He's great support for me. Always has been.
Thanks, Caveman.
And my mom.
Man. And now you got
so my mom is too.
Now you got me too, buddy. Look, now you added Pete to that
Yeah.
roster on that list.
Yeah, I got you, and you, the community I've been building with you there
Yeah,
on TikTok. Autumn, she's another good one.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Hanging out with her in the
Autumn's an
morning.
awesome person. I love her. She's great. John's great too.
That
Yeah,
cute mess,
Chantel.
Bree. Yeah, John.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. Listen, Ken, can I ask you a question though? You said 7 years ago you decided to make a change. What made you change?
Well, I had actually been thinking about trying to stop drinking,
Yeah,
because I knew I had a problem.
yeah,
I couldn't make it home from work without stopping for a beer because my stomach hurt.
yeah,
And but it was, how do I stop? When do I stop? I
yeah,
kept telling myself, well, this party's coming up, Halloween's coming up, I'll do it after that. Because a lot of parties were hosted at my house.
yeah.
And my ex-wife and I, we entertained a lot of people.
Oh, so it
And
was a big enabler kind of thing going on there. You're trying
yeah,
to
there was,
quit, and then that thought started coming up, and then the parties were pushing you to keep going.
right. And I was getting tired of it. And then
Yeah.
her and I got in an argument one night, and she called me a drunk. And I looked at her straight in the eye and said, "You're right." And that's what made the decision right there and then to stop drinking.
That's awesome, man. If that's all it took, that's awesome. There's some people that have to rock bottom and things to happen worse and lose everything and stuff like that to want to make those changes, but it's hard, man. It's hard. I've been there. I've had a drinking problem too. So I could tell you, I know what it's like. Trust me.
Yeah, I did good for like a month. And then when, things weren't going to work out and she finally left, I had my last fall off the wagon one night, drank everything I had, and haven't touched a drop since. I've been sober.
That's amazing, man. That's really awesome. I'm really proud of you, man. That's so awesome.
Thanks.
I mean,
Yeah.
sorry you had to go through those current events, but I mean, sometimes that's what it takes to get you to want to change, though, too, and everything like that. It's just hard, man. It really is, and it's hard. I've dealt with it myself. I had a real bad drinking problem, and all this other stuff. But can't tell all that though, Ken. I got to leave that for the real story. Because
Right. You got your story. You got your own story to tell.
Mine is going to be a head turner, I'm sure, because a lot of people don't know a lot of things. Only a few people know a lot of the things, but there's a lot of stuff I haven't told people. And I feel like, I tell everybody else's story. I'm like, we'll save it for the Patreon and just tell my story, beginning to end, everything else, what I deal with. And it's horrible. I feel horrible, man. I can tell you, I feel horrible. A lot of things. There's a lot of people I need to apologize to. I actually re-linked up with a friend of mine that I had known in high school that we had a falling out because he had said something to me. And I just exploded on him. But at that time, I didn't have the greatest influences, but all for the tell story, though. Ken's like, oh, tell it all the story, man. But that's awesome, man. So you're getting ready to move. You got a new job. Ken got a job, everybody. Congratulations, by the way. Awesome, bro. That is amazing, man. I'm so happy for you, man. I'm glad, everything's working out, falling in places. You're going to be closer to her now and everything else. So that'd be awesome, man.
I'll be closer to all the state parks. So where, the best salvation is out in nature.
It's ring time.
So,
it's ring time. She's a keeper. It's time for that ring.
Yeah, well, we got stuff to work through first.
Look, if you're watching this, look how flustered he just got there. He's like, well,
we have things we have to work through first. We have our plans. We got our plans. There's stuff that we got to take.
Well, let's go. That's awesome, man. That's great to hear, man. That's awesome. So you were cocaine, alcohol. And I know your state of mind had to be just all over the place, especially trying to fight everything after going with all the withdrawals and everything else. It had to be horrible days, huh?
Yeah. And back in 2017, it was really rough because then it was just alcohol I had to get rid of, but it was the worst fight I had to go through.
Yeah.
Like when your body goes to go in convulsions, I had to use powers to trick my mind, get busy, so I make my body do a bunch of things to beat going into convulsions.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The anxiety that came with it, it was one way, and then one day it flipped and went the other way, and I thought I was having a heart attack.
Yeah. Yeah, I know those feelings.
Yeah, it was pressure. I ended up just inserting myself into my son's life, my kid's life.
Yeah.
I become a football coach, track coach, wrestling coach. To help me get through it. Which, it was just some great first couple of years.
Yeah, plus you get to support the kids along the way too.
Yeah, and helping those kids in the sports. I know between me and a couple other coaches, we were able to redirect a couple kids in the right direction.
There you go, man. That's what's up there. Definitely. That's awesome when you can change a kid's life and help them get on the right path they need to go on, not let them go down that dark road.
Yeah, one was going down a dark road, and now he's in college.
Hey, there you go. That's awesome. What's his name, by the way? Let's give him a shout out right now. You don't have to say his last name. You just say his first name, whatever. But if you remember his first name, but anyways, if you remember,
yeah,
let me know.
I'm drawing a blank on his name. I could see him
Well,
the
still
whole
awesome.
nine
Listen,
yards.
man. Listen, that's still pretty awesome, though, man. That's really cool, though, that you help somebody get that far because a lot of kids don't even make college, and for you to do that for them to help them get there, it's kind of like a Coach Carter type situation.
Yeah,
Like he didn't
there's
give up on
another.
those kids and stuff like that, and all that kind of stuff, and he kept prevailing through all the things, all the parents were putting pressure on him.
Yeah, the big inspiration was Coach Kirby.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really good. He pulled kids like him under his arm as a wrestling coach,
Oh, that's awesome.
and working with him on that, it was great. He was one of the best coaches I worked with.
Yeah. That's
So
good, man.
he helped me a lot mentally and helped me push myself to be able to do things like I'm doing now, being able to go live.
Yeah.
There's no way I would have been able to. He pushed me to be an announcer, helping with wrestling and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Get over fears of speaking to people in
Well,
public.
shout out to Coach Kirby, man. Thank you so much for helping Ken get on the right and straight path, man. That's great. Because without people like you giving support to him, man, he would have never gotten where he's gotten to. He did it on his own to beat the addiction, man, but he's got you there to back him up in case he needs him. That's awesome, man.
So,
That's great. Well, see that you're here now today. You saw Country Boy's story. It inspired you to do this. You messaged me, and even Country was moved by what you had said to him. Like I said, man, I tell people, like I said, guys, your story could change somebody's life. You never know. That's why Ken's sitting here right now. You could be the next one too. Just like I said, hit me up. Let me know. I'd love to have you come out and share your stories.
Back when I was like 19, I was living with my brother down in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Him, his wife, and their daughters. And I felt like I was a burden.
Yeah.
I almost took my life. But
well, we're glad you're still here, man.
It was the girls. How could they explain that to the girls? Why I took my life, and that's what kept me. I mean, the knife was against my skin.
Yeah.
I wrote it all down in a journal while I was there. I left it for my brother. He read it.
That's awesome.
We've been closer ever since.
Because think of it this way, Ken, when he read it, he probably got a better insight to what your thought process was at the time, man. And it's hard. Like I said, when it comes to that subject, it's tough to know what people are thinking, man. We don't know. They look like they're happy at one moment. They could be masking what they're really thinking. And, and we don't know. And that's the whole reason we're trying to raise mental health awareness like this, guys, is because we want to try and stop this. We don't want you to be another statistic, and things like just add it to the average.
Well, we want you to be a statistic. A statistic that beat it. You know.
Exactly. Ken beat me.
We don't want the other.
Exactly where his head was. I like it. See, that's why me and Ken are the tag team duo right now. He knew exactly where I was taking this comment to. And exactly, Ken, like you said, we don't want you to be that statistic. We want you to be the one that saves, be the statistic that's for the good, not for the worse,
Right.
And
talk about it. Help
mental health
people.
Awareness. We can start stopping this thing ahead of time, get ahead of this thing, let people know, hey, if there's a problem, it's okay not to be okay, is what everybody likes to say. Or like my buddy John likes to say, kick life in the face. You know what I mean?
Every morning when he puts his shoes on, he gets out of bed, he kicks it out and says, let's go. I got this day. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's hard at times though, because you get so down sometimes. It's like you don't want to get out of bed. And I've been there for that too, man. It's rough. Like so there's some days I just didn't want to get out of bed. It was a struggle. And there's a couple guests I've had on here that have said, like one guy said he had PTSD and traumatic brain injury. He's like, for him to leave the house and do a normal daily task and come back just drains him. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like they'll just say, "Oh no, get over it. Oh, you're okay. Oh, just toughen up." Toughen up what, man?
Right, I am being tough. I need some help. Where you at? Let me talk to you.
Yeah,
sometimes that's all it is.
Yeah, exactly. Where were you when I needed help? I asked for help, and you're looking at me like I've gone and lost my mind somewhere. Then that means you're not a friend to me. You need to go. And sometimes you gotta make that hard decision.
Yeah, I have a buddy back in Illinois. He came to me one time. He was all jacked up on his coke. I was sober at that point, and from cocaine.
Yeah.
And I said, look, dude, I'm not gonna hang out with you. I says, but when you're ready to give that up, call me. I'll be there.
Yeah.
But about a month later, he was knocking on my door. And, I brought him out of it, out in sobriety, got him his life back together, got him a job running tow trucks.
That's awesome, man.
And then one day after I'd moved away from him, he couldn't get a hold of me. He was having an issue. And he told me, he said to himself, what would Ken do? And that's where my name comes from.
That's right. What would Ken do?
And he thought about how I would get through that process, what I would probably tell him to do. And he did it. So after him telling me that, which really touched me, broke me down.
That's awesome, man.
Emotionally, but it's okay, guys. You're a man. You can still cry. Real men cry too.
Did y'all just hear what he just said? It's okay to show your emotion as a man. Don't be buying into that macho man crap. They tell you that, you can't show emotion. You're human. You have emotions. It's okay to be real. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's tough. Is it going to be tough? Yeah, it's going to be tough. No one said it's going to be easy because a lot of us were pre-programmed to think that it's not okay. But as you just heard what he said right there, Ken just said it. It's okay to cry, man. If you got to let it go, you got to let it go, man. It's nothing wrong with showing emotion because if you let it bottle up, we don't know what's going to happen next. That's all.
Right. It's part of healing. It's part of the healing process.
It is.
It's letting it flow out. It's cleansing. That's what the tears are. Cleansing your soul.
John, we've had a couple people crying this show, Ken. Don't worry, okay? We've had a few. We've had Teddy.
Yeah,
he was
telling
us about his. I don't know if you've seen his episode yet. Teddy's was pretty powerful too, man. Bree's been on here. You got upset on here. It's okay, and we're not judging anybody. I just want you to see the realness of these stories. That's why I don't have a problem with people. I want people to get emotional because I want people to see the real emotion people deal with on a daily basis. Like it was hard. Like you all think it was just easy to just say, okay, forget it. I'm done with this. It's not how it works.
No, it continues. I mean, you have good years sometimes, and then all of a sudden one little bad thing triggers it, and now you're back to where you feel worthless again.
Yeah.
And now you got to find out how to get out.
About statistics. Remember I told you about that statistic that my guest Adriana told us about. She said that 2% of people in recovery actually make it out. But she says that, you're going to slip at some point. It's going to happen. And it's okay.
That's how you react.
Ken will tell you from experience. It's going to happen, but it's how you get back up is what matters. And that's what him, John, and all these other great people, because we're trying to get John to come on this show too. We're going to try and get some work out. You have to meet this man, John Correll. He's phenomenal. He's a friend of me and Ken's. He is right there up there with Ken. It's one of the all-stars of this thing, man. Because John and Ken right there both prove that, you could be men and you could be real about how you feel.
Yeah, and then just recently, after I got my first divorce, I met a woman and we got married. Then I found out I married a narcissist, and it turned my world upside down. I ended up with no control over my life again.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do nothing. And then there was times when I go out hunting because I love to hunt my deer. I'd be sitting out in the woods. I shot my deer, which great release of energy. But then I'd sit there and be like, nobody would know. I'm out here in the woods. How long would it take? And then I beat it. Yeah. No, it ain't worth it.
Yeah, but
there's somebody out there.
What got you to eventually tell her that I was enough is enough?
Well, it had to do with work, because she said I wouldn't talk about work because every time I did and I mentioned the girl's name, well, there was a fight. So why talk about it? So I took over a new department in the facility I was working in as a lead, and I started talking about what was going on in different conversations, and she started lighting me up again, and that was it. I had enough. I said, I can't do this anymore. And I took a vacation day, acted like I went to work. Everybody left the house. I went home, packed all my clothes, and left. I was done. There's no way I could face it anymore.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing to say you're done with those kind of situations, man. It's you got to restart and everything else. And I've done it. I know you've done it. Bree's done it. We've all done it, man. It's hard. Like I tell everybody, because Bree's going through that right now. That's what she's doing. She's going through.
Mine was just a year ago.
Yeah, so
I just rebooted a year ago.
It's hard, man. Right? It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, here I am, 50 years old. Had my whole life was already ahead of me at my house, everything, and then I just up and left everything and started back over at ground zero.
Listen, but if you didn't start over again, you wouldn't have met Nicole, though. Let's be honest, okay?
Well, I did meet Nicole because we worked together.
Oh, there you go. Okay, well then she was there.
We worked together.
Well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
That's
she
good.
was
Like I said,
actually
I'm for
the girl that started the last fights.
There you
The
go.
one I was talking to and telling her the conversations of that actually got her
Yeah.
upset and pissed me off to leave.
Yeah.
But here it is, a year later. Now Nicole and I are getting together.
There you go.
Our lives had different paths, and we came back together. So
Yeah, me and my wife, that's how we met, Ken. We were 2.5 hours away, and everybody says that distance is a problem. You're a liar. It's because you don't want to put the effort in. She was 2.5 hours away. I would work all the week and leave Sundays and go stay with her. Usually at first, and then she came and stayed with me because situations changed and for her. So she ended up coming staying with me eventually. But for the first almost year, that's what we did. I would basically drive there, or she'd come up here and stay with me, and I'd be at work on Saturday. So she'd come Saturday night, stay at the house, and I'd see her in the morning and whatever. We'd hang out all day Sunday. And then she'd go back Monday or whenever she had to go back to work, she kind of, stuff like that. So, but it was like I said, it's distance is hard, man. But it was worth it to me because I'm married now, we're together now, and it's crazy, man. I drove 2.5 hours every Sunday, working 45 hours a week, and it was worth it to me, man. It's I hate when people say distance is an issue. No, it's you don't want to put the effort in. Now you never know until you try. See it. If she's worth it, she's worth the distance, man.
Yeah, Nicole and I right now we're 3 hours apart.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been making it work. Weekends off, days off, whatever, going back and forth. When we talked about her moving back up here versus me moving down there, and
We talked about that too.
my job has been mentally and physically just draining on me. Working, 2 days on, 2 days off, 12-hour shifts overnight. I'm almost falling asleep behind the wheel on the way home.
Yeah.
I mean, just a couple months ago, I did fall asleep behind the wheel, hit a telephone pole.
Yeah. Yikes.
Totaled my truck. Laughed about it the whole time. Right there on the scene. There's nothing I could do. I couldn't get upset. It happened.
Yeah.
Could only laugh about it. It's only better for my mental. But
I mean, you're just happy you're alive at that point. It's great that you're still here, though, man. I'm glad nothing happened because I've had an incident with a telephone pole too, man. And it was like probably ice here, pole was there. That's how close it was. And that's a reality check for you right there. When that thing happens and you're like, whoa, how fast it was, you have no choice but to laugh because it's just in your mind. It's like, what else can you do? If you get upset, where it's going to take you, just like you said, there's just no point.
Yeah, I was only doing 25, 30 miles an hour when I hit the pole.
Thankfully.
But still had airbag deployment. I ended up with 7 staples in my head.
Ooh.
But just laughed about it. I waited. The cops came. My buddy came, picked me up. Went and did everything. Cleaning my truck out from the tow yard, getting a rental, and then I drove myself to the hospital to get staples put in my head. The bleeding had stopped, so what was the rush?
The other place is Ken's like, I'm bleeding. It's okay. I'm just going to clean this car out first. Then I'm going to go to the hospital eventually, guys. I can stay up in a minute. Super glue can fix this temporarily.
Exactly. Places closed. I had to get to the places before they closed. ER is open 24/7.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Kid's like, yeah, don't worry, I got this. That's what my old man was like. He's like, I used to put super glue in there and just seal it back together. I'm like, what is wrong with you, man? What happened to you?
You just pull it together, a little tape, couple band-aids, some super glue. Yeah, you're good to go.
Oh my God, that's awesome. He's like, I just super glued together. That's what he told me. He's like, I super glued together. Don't worry. Oh, super glue. That'll fix it. Don't worry. I'm like,
I mean, I've duct tape cuts together.
I've done that before too. I put tape over one of them before. I was doing something with my old man. We were down in Dallas, and I was using one of those like utility knives. I went right into the side of my hand, right here in my hand. You kind of can't see in the back, but right there between your thumb and your index finger, your pointer finger. And I was like, oh, okay. I just put a little tape on it, went back to work. I was like, I got to deal with this later. It's okay. He's like, oh man, you just put some super glue in that sucker. It'll seal that bastard up. No, Pops, I'm not putting super glue in there. Stop telling me that, you weirdo. And
that's what construction workers do.
He was a commercial printer actually, so he did a lot of those printing presses and stuff like that. He told me some crazy stories about that, like guys getting their hands caught in the machines because they're not listening. And it was like dangling jewelry and stuff. One guy got his fingertips caught in there because he wasn't careful, and it caught his bracelet and pulled his hand right in. And I was like, make sure.
And then people complain about all the hand guarding now. Well, that's why.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm like, I've heard things. My dad's actually had an incident where his hand got caught in one of the presses, and you got to remember, it's two big old rubber stamps pressed on each other.
Yeah.
Going, and once that rubber grabs you, you're done. That's it. There's nothing else you can do once they get you, because that's why they tell you don't wear loose clothing or anything like that. And I've heard stories other than the one guy that did it, and crazy things happen and all the time. And I'm like, nope, I'm good, man. I'm good. And he just laughs about it too. My dad has a weird sense of humor, and he told me some things later on that makes sense now, but it's like I'm sure he's seen worse and done worse than what he's laughing about at this point from what he's been telling us in these wonderful conversations ever since he's found religion. He's gotten deeper into it. He's been kind of taking an atonement for his sins. Has been sharing a little too much, I think, with some of us.
Well, he's finally getting it off his chest. He's finally healing.
Yes,
that's what it is.
Yes. Kenny's going to turn my hair white with some of these stories, okay? I've already got a little gray hair, but it was going to go all white. After he was telling me some of those, I was like, bro, a little too much, Pops.
Why do you think I got all of this? This is just for my own stories.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, you have been through a lot, man. It's crazy. So where the kids now? Are they with mom? Do you get to see them ever?
Oh, yeah. And, my kids at first, they lived with me, and then one lived with each of us. And then when I got remarried, our kids flip-flop. I know with my daughter, and then she didn't like rules either at the time, or my ex-wife. The kids had just had a problem with her, and they never told me why until after.
I found a lot of stories out afterwards too, so I agree with them.
And I'm like, if you would have told me this in the beginning, that wouldn't have happened. Yeah. But I said, things happen for a reason, so.
Yeah, but they probably felt like too in the beginning, if they were to tell you, you'd be like, oh, you're just trying to start some drama or something, because that's how a lot of people react and things like that. They're like, oh no, you're just making things up. I don't think you're giving them a chance and all that other stuff, instead of just listening to what they're saying, and understanding that they're trying to tell you how they feel.
Right, and it was both, and I told them it was on both of us. It wasn't just them. It wasn't just me. We all handled it in the wrong ways.
Yeah,
but after divorce, I regained with my kids, and then for some reason, after hunting all season with my son, I haven't talked to him since the end of December.
How old is he now?
He's 19.
Well, could just being a kid.
So it hurts a lot, but
yeah,
I get through it. Love him. I reach out now and again. Sometimes it's a couple months, but just to remind him I'm thinking about him and I love him, because
definitely.
At least that he knows I am, and that's the important thing. My daughter and I, we got a great relationship now. She's given me a beautiful granddaughter.
There you go. Congrats, man.
So, and awesome. Now I got a great son-in-law, so it treats her good. She just turned 18 in the end of September.
Yeah.
And but they got a house. He's got a good job. He takes care of her, makes her happy. So that makes me happy.
That's good.
And I got her blessing.
Just give the keywords, Ken. Just say we got to roll. We got to roll. Okay, I'm there. All right, we're done.
Oh no, we're good. And
it's like, no, calm down, buddy, calm down. We ain't gotta go that far now. Calm down.
No, and my daughter gave me my blessings to move to Ohio.
Yeah.
She said, Dad, you've always said if us kids were grown, you'd move down there for years. So what are you waiting for? Here's your opportunity.
That's awesome.
So since I have her blessing, was the final thing I needed to take care of, make sure it was okay to go down there.
That's awesome, man.
So
that's feel good though when she give you the blessing too, man. That's awesome that she supports your decision that you're doing this, making this move and everything like that. That's awesome, man. I'm really happy that she's got your back on that too.
Yeah, we've rebuilt our relationship where we needed to. But there was a lot of times during those 4 years when my kids weren't talking to me. Yeah. It made me want to go other places.
Yeah, I
and
hear you.
not be here. But that's when I go back to when I start thinking that or have major issues. I think about what Ryan said. What would Ken do?
Yeah,
So I'd have
exactly.
to project myself out and like talk to myself, in like a third person weird kind of way. Projection to be able to answer that question.
You should consider
What would
just
I,
doing a
what
book
would,
about that. Like what we can
well,
do in different situations, like a little pamphlet for people, and then have it say what we can do, just like your name says, and then break it down to what we can do, and then have those inspirational ideas. Like, what would you do in these situations? And you never know, may help somebody, just like you helped other people. Like your friend said it helped him. He said what we can do, and then thought what would you would do in that situation.
right. And it doesn't always pertain to life. It's just any little thing.
Yeah,
It's just how do you go forward?
exactly.
And so I've been doing that since he told me that. Whenever I run into a major problem, I never put it together until just recently talking with Nicole, and that's when I changed my name. But it's what it always came down to. What would I do? What would Ken do? What would I tell somebody in any situation? So then I'd have to tell myself the same thing. And now I got to execute it because you're only as good as your work. If you're not going to
Exactly.
follow your own advice, then you don't need to give advice.
Exactly. That's awesome, man.
So,
I think you should take that and run with it. Honestly, what we can do, I may have an idea that we need to talk about later on, though, because I think that we
yeah.
got something going there. Because that's awesome, man. Because you inspired one person already, and that's all it
So,
takes is one person to cause change, man. And that's great, man. Like I
yeah.
said, it's hard.
And
It's hard to look
well,
at life sometimes when it gets rough like that.
well, Nicole and I have been talking about that. She's got an office in her apartment. It's going to be both of ours office. And I'm going to be, as I get settled in down there in Ohio, I'm going to start going live and starting to work on this and get some spreadsheets. It's like you're saying, as I come up with scenarios, what we can do and writing
Think
them
about it,
down.
Ken. Think about it. See, we'll
Yeah,
talk
I see
about it. I'm
it.
telling you, man. Maybe we'll go that route. We'll see how it goes. See how you feel getting going with live and everything. Maybe we'll talk about it, getting something going like that, man. Because that'd be awesome. Because I think that your words can inspire people. I have another friend like that, Mr. Real. He drops a lot of inspirational stuff. I think he did his first podcast recording yesterday. He told it was telling everybody because it was me. I inspired him to go do it. I'm like, dude, you always wanted to do this all along. You should just go do it, man. Thanks for telling me that I inspired you to do it. But man, listen, like he could drops inspirational knowledge all the time with these great quotes and things like that. And the other day when we were live in TikTok, I can't remember what her name was in our chat. I think it was the Claudia with a K, the one I kept butchering that poor woman's name. She was dropping some monster things in there. I was like, dude, just keep going with them. Keep going with them. You know what I'm saying? And it's awesome. And that's the great
Yeah,
thing. That's why I keep telling people on TikTok, people are like, ooh, they cringe. But I'm like, dude, you never know what you're gonna find because that's how me and Ken met. That's how me and a bunch of other people met, dude. And all these people have great inspirational quotes. Our buddy John, we met him there too, and they all have great things to
yeah.
tell people and stuff like
Oh,
that.
what?
It's awesome.
Loco Dino? Loco
Yeah.
Dino? He's a really good guy, too. He's really out there helping
You heard that,
people.
everybody. Go check out Loco Dino too. Let's go ahead and support him as well, guys. Go ahead and give him a nice follow, check him out.
Yeah.
Follow me and Ken too. We're always on TikTok hanging out together. Usually we're together goofing around, but when it comes down to things getting serious, man, you always can come talk to us whenever you need us because we're always here. And
Yeah.
it's the hard thing is people always feel like, whenever you feel like you're alone and everything like that, it's like, well, I don't know anybody. You didn't talk to me. I'm here. I'm reachable on so many different platforms. Not even funny. Heck, we're even live on Instagram right now too. Anybody on Instagram watching this, guys? You ever need something, let us know. We're building a network for people, mental health advocates that all help each other. It's in the process of making. We're working on it. And, more details
Yeah.
to come, obviously, as I get the Discord all set up. And that's literally what it'll be. It's just everybody in there will just be to drop inspirational quotes, and things like that to help each other out. That way they have one informational source and they don't have to go 20 different places. It'll all be in one spot. But it's all in the working right now as we speak. So,
Yeah. And then, when I started this journey a year ago, rebuilding my life, I moved in with a good friend of mine, Matt.
yeah.
We've helped each other. He deals with his anxiety, depression, PTSD. He's a veteran. Thank you also, Matt, for your service.
Matt,
If
I'd
you're
love to have you
listening
on
right
sometime.
now. And I got his permission to bring it up, and talk about him. So,
Yeah, definitely.
because that's very important. You don't want to put somebody's lives out there without their permission.
Exactly, man. I agree.
Um, but we've helped each other. He just went through some rough stuff himself, And a lot of those words are between him and I. But at one point, I reached over, put my hand on his shoulder, and I felt everything release from him.
Yeah.
And he finally broke because he's part of the stigma.
Yeah, is he getting help for his PTSD? Because I do have a guy that Teddy, the first person I had on this week, he runs a thing called Heroes Outreach. It's for people with that have military backgrounds that have PTSD. In case he ever wants some help, man, you always send him that way for sure. Teddy and them are doing great things over there with people in the military and stuff like that, man. I'd love for him to, make sure he can get some kind of help if he needs it. If he does it, even better. He could even help other people too. He can share his stories. And if he he wants to volunteer or something, they're always looking for help like that kind of stuff for people to come help them. And it's all it is heroesoutreach.org. And they're on like Instagram. I met him on Facebook because his wife was promoting him to have him come on. And he was my first guest of this whole thing even started. He was my first guest and stuff like that. And he deals with PTSD. And he was the one I was telling you about when he leaves the house and comes back. It was raining for him. So, Matt, if you ever feel like you need some help, man, or whatever your situation, if you want to help somebody, dude, check out heroesoutreach.org, man. They're a great foundation and they're doing great things, man. And maybe, you can help somebody too, man.
But
Christina says hi. Look, she's right there. Say hi, Christina.
Hi, Christina.
Everyone, if you're not following my buddy Christina too on TikTok, she's a great follow, man. She's always great, inspirational stuff like that. Tons
is she part of? Is that Christina with the Misfits?
Yes, that's it. It's her.
Yes, hi, Christina.
Ben's here too. Look, Ben said hi to everybody. Ben.
Hey, Ben.
These are all friends of ours that we met on TikTok, networked with them there. These guys are all great people to hang out with, great inspirational people. Christina and I are talking about some other stuff in the backswing about a recording a show with her doing sobriety and stuff like that, but more details to follow on that. It'll be a Patreon exclusive. It's only $1 get the Patreon. Like I say, guys, in the beginning, $1, 4 quarters, 10 dimes, and whatever the nickels are and everything else. I don't feel like doing the math right. Anyways, $1 gets you into the Pete Ferguson Society Patreon. There's so much coming down the line. You guys just get ready. It's going to be really good. Maybe Ken will be there too eventually.
Maybe. We'll see. Like I said, my new journey is just starting to begin.
Listen, man, I'll be there with you. Don't worry, I got you. But yeah, and the great thing too, always with Teddy's organization, though, I know he went through that whole situation, and maybe Matt can attest to this too. He said that when he got out, that he had a psychological test done before and after. And he said when he got out, they didn't look at his test exactly. They just said, okay, you're okay. And he said, did you really look at it though? He goes, because he's the one that had to push for, he had to push for everything. Like he had to push for that, to get his own help. Cause he's like, he knew something was wrong by the time he was coming back. Cause he'd done a couple tours over there and stuff like that. And he had his Humvee blow up and flip over and he had to crawl out, and he had a crazy story. So, Matt, if you're listening, you need to go watch that episode and see what you think, man, because it's crazy. That it's gotten to that point right there, where it's like they're just ignoring the fact that something's wrong, and then they're saying, "Oh, you're okay," because we just want to still be able to use you in command situations, things like. It's like, what do you mean, dude? That's crazy.
Yeah, you hear that way too much, unfortunately. Too much of that's hidden.
It is, man. In the way they did it, and Matt, I don't know if Matt could contest that or not. He may or Matt know if they've done that kind of thing. I don't think it was because he went overseas, is what Teddy was saying. If I remember right in our conversation, he had gone over and done a psychological test prior and after, and he knew something was wrong. And then he told them, "Hey, no, man, there's something not right here. I need to start getting some help about this problem." Because he was experiencing certain things. I don't want to give a lot away because it's a great episode with him. He says it in his own words, and like you see the man's emotions come out, and it's draining. It was draining doing the interview with him just because it was hard because you're watching him do this and I'm feeling what he's saying. And I'm like, bro, Jesus almighty, is that crazy? Because this is one of our troops talking. Like, these are guys that protect our lives and our daily life every day. They're over there doing things to try and keep us safe over here. And this is what the guy deals all day. And this is how you treat him. You just kind of toss him to the side like, okay, well, he's done. It's somebody else, And it's insane. It really is, man.
Yeah, there's not enough help out there for our veterans.
I agree. I don't think there's enough of anything for help for a lot of people out there, veterans especially, I think men's mental health doesn't get enough attention either, which we'll have to revisit that episode for sure. I may have to get a couple of you on here and we could all do it. Here we go. Look, right here, boom. And what's his brother's name too? Let's give him a shout out right now. What's his brother's name too?
My brother's name is Dale. He goes by Caveman. I think 1970. is his name on TikTok.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Thank you so much.
he's
We
up
appreciate
there.
everything you do.
He's up there in Northern Illinois running his Pizza Huts,
Hey, man.
running a bunch
Dale,
of
we appreciate
veteran
everything you
sales
do.
at his stores today.
Definitely. And recovery, what's your brother's name so we can put it up here? We want to put it right here in the bottom of the screen. That way everybody can know exactly what he does for everybody. Because we want to give him a shout out. Because today is tribute to the troops, everybody. We want to give the shout out to all the troops out there for all the things they do for us. Because I don't feel like they get enough.
Dale wasn't a troop, but he had issues back then. But he is a trooper.
He's a trooper in our book. He don't have to be a troop to be mentioned on this show, okay? Dang it. This is just the tribute to the troop show, meaning we'll mention the troops and Dale. Dale's still a trooper.
Yeah, Dale Kleesner there. He's Caveman 1970. I don't remember any of the rest of his name, what is there on TikTok, off the top of my head right now.
Yeah.
But he's one of my best supporters that I need to go to.
That's
if I have an issue, I can.
Man, they need to know that we appreciate the support they're giving for everybody, man.
He's a recovered addict himself.
I'd love you to come on our new show we're talking about.
And he understands mental issues himself very well.
Mm-hmm. Does Dale mind if you share what his diagnoses are?
No, I don't. That would all be on him. I don't know. You know, I won't go into what all he dealt with.
No, like you said, it's respectful. I don't.
He's made beyond full recovery. Learning how to use his mind. Big inspiration for me because he understands the strength of the mind, and our mind is very powerful.
Jason, I want to give you a shout out and say thank you for everything you do for us, man. Because if it was done with you, we wouldn't even be able to be sitting here right now, brother. Okay. And
thank you, Jason.
I know you don't get enough love there, brother. This is for you all. But yeah, I hear you, man. That's why I asked that question because I don't want everybody's business being shared if they're not okay with it and stuff like that.
Yeah, he knows I'm on here, but I didn't ask him to get too much information. But he went from having to take medicine to not, and getting full recovery. Very powerful brain he has. And awesome. Like I said, he's part of my inspiration because your mind can either kill you or make you. The more positive you think, the better you're going to go. You're going to go places when you're thinking positive. You're thinking negative. Yeah.
You ever seen the movie Along Came a Spider where the guy makes that quote? He says, the mind's a dangerous thing. That's exactly what you're saying.
It is. It shut down your body in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Or it can keep your body going, and it's all the way you try to train your thoughts or retrain your thoughts, which isn't easy, I know.
Yeah.
A lot of people need assistance, and that's what you need to do. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own story.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's all. The whole point of the show is everybody sharing their stories and coming together, and we can support each other and raise awareness that there's an issue out there. It's being avoided. Like we worry about everything else but our own problems these days, and it's sad. Going forward, we can make this thing a real thing again and start getting people help before it gets to that point where we have issues.
Yeah, I mean, like with me, I'm also a Pisces, so at fault, I always care about everybody else before myself, and never want to burden anybody else with my problems. They're my problems to deal with.
Yeah,
I'm learning now to open up and to help because it'll help others, and not just at the same time it helps myself. Because if you don't talk about it, it bottles up and it will kill you in the negatives.
Yeah, and you'll explode and everything else and everything like that. Jason, by the way, I would love for you to come on this show and share your story if you're up for it, though. After right there, I'd love for you to let people know exactly what you deal with every day, man. Because all I want people to know is I want them to know what exactly it is you deal with, so they can understand that these are real things that go on with real people. That this is just not somebody making up a story. These are not clickbait videos. These are actual stories from actual people that are having these things happen to them. So you're more than welcome to reach out to me at any time, and we'll set something up. We can do a Patreon episode if you like, and keep it completely closed off, just you and I. And all that other kind of stuff. But I would love to have your testimony just so people can understand. I am working on a catalog in the Patreon for different diagnoses of people so we can better understand these things that people deal with on a daily basis. So, all right, Ken, as we get close to wrapping up today, is there anything you want to say to somebody? You know, but let's put it this way. If you had one message to the world, what would it be?
Well, just like the shirt I wear all the time, you are enough. There is somebody in front of you that loves you. Keep going. Don't look back. You're worth it. You are loved. You're enough.
Definitely. Definitely. And you are enough. I want you all to know that. We are happy that you're here today. We're happy that you watched this show. We're happy that you do all that stuff, guys. And, you know, just, and I like to tell everybody all the time when I see them, I'm happy you're here still today. You know, and sometimes that's what people need to hear. I want to make some
And
t-shirts
like you,
that say, how's your mental health today? Like I usually ask everybody.
yeah. Yeah, like I asked my buddy that, and he just went back because I know a lot of his history with dealing with depression and stuff. And he's like, "Where's he going with this question?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's just another way of saying how you're doing, but
Yeah.
make you think about it."
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Because that's what it does. Think
so I
about
can
it.
get a
'Cause
real
that's
answer.
exactly what it does. It makes you think about exactly how you're feeling, and you're like, whoa, okay, this is a little game changer. Not just how are you? Well, how's your mental health today? And a lot of people are like, you know what? He actually wants to know. And I ask you because I want to know. Like, you know, I try to get, like I said, I want to make sure people know that you're not alone. We all deal with things. It's these clickbait videos are what really upset me a lot of times. It's like, it's great. Okay.
Yeah.
So just take a note of who's making these videos and go back and see if they still talk about that same subject. And then you'll know for real whether these people are serious about this or they're just looking for the views.
Right. And upcoming, you know, I will be starting to post my own videos and stuff.
You're damn right he will, because we're going to make sure he does. We want to hear from Ken. We want to hear what Ken would do.
Yeah, it's just as soon as I get settled in, you know, I got a great teammate now with Nicole. So, you know, and we're going to push forward together.
He's got the mouth of the South right now. Okay, I was the North, but now I'm the South again. Awesome.
Yeah,
you got to see this, Ken. You got to see this. Look at this. Look at this right here. I hope he sees it too. I really want him to. I really appreciate that. Right there. See that? That's people helping people right there, guys. Look at that.
Thank you.
That is a good friend of ours right there. She's very, like I said, I'll have more details of that stuff coming up. But yeah, you're right, man. You got the mouth of the South with you now, Ken. I'll be your hype man. I'll be like, let's go, Ken. Woo!
Yeah.
You know, trust me.
We're gonna push each other.
We're definitely, man. We got him. And like John said, if you plan to fail, you fail, you know?
Yeah, you got to plan to succeed. Positive thoughts, positive results.
Exactly. You know, and it's great, man. I can't wait to get him on there either. John is gonna be great. You know, and things like that and stuff like and all that kind of stuff. And I should be on. I may not be live at 3:00. I'm going to try to if nothing's in the way there, but I do have somebody coming back. She is the Invisible Warriors Foundation. The president and the CEO of that is actually going to be here at 3:00 with me. If ever she doesn't end up canceling on me, which I mean it happens. Somebody cancels, things happen, life happens. Don't worry. I don't really care. I'm not saying like I don't care. I just don't. It's not a big deal to me if you cancel. It just is what it is. It happens and stuff like that. But hopefully we'll be back at 3:00 with her because I really am interested to hear more about what she does. And she works with a lot of military women, so that'll be great for a lot of people. So I'm going to try and go live. I'm going to see what the schedule, because the network schedule pretty much opens up. If there's nothing in there, I was already given permission. I can pretty much go live. So I'm trying to get another guy. I don't know if you've seen the videos yet, named Wyatt. He wants to come on. So I'm going to see about where I can fit him on the schedule. I'm waiting to see what works for him and see if I can get him live on the show.
Yeah, I see some of Wyatt tagging you.
Yeah, you seen that? Okay, because anybody hasn't seen the video, there's a guy named Wyatt that's on TikTok that 3 a.m, I think it was, somewhere on there last Monday before I went live. He saw one of my videos of one of my quotes about one of my Instagram things like, you know, let's unite. United we stand, divided we fall. He tagged me in a video and gave me a complete shout out and told everybody to come follow me. Wyatt, man, if you're watching this, I really appreciate it. I really do, man. We don't know each other, but I'm really very excited to meet you. And, you know, get to know him more on the air and stuff like that. He seems like he's going to be a great ally to what we're trying to get done.
Yeah, I started following him too after he was calling out. I'm like, yeah, he's good people.
And another good follow for y'all is another guy I met. He does a Christian. I think it's Christian. Don't stop me if I don't know. It's a religious one. Does a lot of Bible scriptures, a lot of the gospel music and things like that. His name is The Morning Jam with Coop. If y'all not following him, go give him a follow. Let him know I sent you. He's a great guy. He's a small streamer. He does a lot of, you know, inspirational stuff. Lets people share their stories of their, you know, accepting faith and things like that. And he's a real great guy, real high energy, awesome dude to listen to and things like that. And he's live on TikTok all the time. So I was going to talk to Oracle and see about bringing him in with us and see what they think, because, you know, he's a smaller streamer, but I mean, why not? Let's give him a shot. Cause that's the reason Oracle even was made. They're trying to get us smaller guys more noise, get us out there, get heard more. And thank you to Tom and
Right.
Jenny, by the way, the two people that even started this whole thing. Because without them, none of us would be even here. Oracle wouldn't even exist without Tom and Jenny.
Right.
They're
And thank
awesome.
everybody for watching and your support. Thank you.
I
Because without
appreciate
you
it,
guys, we wouldn't be here.
Well, guys, we're going to close out this episode of Pete versus Anxiety Day. Ken, once again, thank you so much for coming. We were looking forward to those Ken Can Do videos. Guys, you know where to find us as always. YouTube at Pete versus Anxiety, or on Instagram at Pete versus Anxiety, ANNXIET. And those Nazis that are grammar ones, you can deal with that one, okay? And as always, follow the Oracle Talk Radio Network, guys. Show them some love. If you can't be here with us physically watching this, they do have the Oracle Talk Radio Network app. You can download it. You can hear us live because we are live on the 365 radio every week, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, sometimes at 3 p.m., depending on what exactly is going on in the contents of the conversation and stuff like that, guys. And as always, like I say, it costs nothing, absolutely nothing. Be kind to somebody. One kind that could make somebody's day, or hell, you could even make their life. You know what I mean? All right, guys. Well, Ken, let's say bye to everybody.
Don't forget they can listen. Don't forget they can listen to you on Spotify if they're driving on the road and hear the podcast.
Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all everywhere you get your podcasts at, guys. I'm everywhere. I'm trying to continue to reach.
Thank you, everybody.
Don't forget to like and share and subscribe to this video. Everybody, show Ken some love too. But anyways, guys, until next time, we'll catch you later, guys. Later.
Later.